What is going on, fellow developers? My name is Tyler Potts, and in today's video we're going to be making an app based on a topic I really love. And for those of you who do not follow me on Twitter, that is anime. Now, I love anime, I love the culture, I love everything about it. It's just really good. And you know, when you're sitting there and you're watching a series, it could be a superhero series or an anime or something like that, and then there's just an epic moment and everything starts heating up. Yeah, I get chills every time. And so, because I love it so much, I thought I'd find something anime related, and I found this really cool anime database API, which we're going to be using to build this Vue.js anime app here. So we could search for something, so let's say Naruto, hit enter, and as you can see here, we get a search for Naruto, loads of different things. We can also search for stuff like One Piece, Dragon Ball, and also the other one. You've got Fire Force on here, a new favourite of mine, Black Clover as well. You can search for as many as these as you want, and the best thing is it's completely open, so you can search for your heart's content. There's a couple of rules they give you, but yeah, without further ado, guys, let's start building this anime application. Okay guys, I just want to show you where I'm getting this anime list from, this anime API. It's called Jikan API or Jikan API. It's an unofficial My Anime List API. It's open source, and you've got loads of different things. You've got these wrappers, so you can get all these different things. A JavaScript one if we wanted to use that, but we're not. We're going to use the REST API. They've got a Node version and everything like that to come with it. There's a lot of cool things in here. The documentation's nice. It's done by Apiary documentation, and it's really cool. Let's have a look at the documentation. So as you can see here, we've got the API path. It's right there, so we're going to need that for a later date. I've already got it saved and memorized, so we'll be all right. Then you can also search here, which is going to be a direct anime search. If you want to find a specific anime, you've got it all here. You've got manga as well, not just anime. You've got characters. You've even got the search. So the search is what we're going to be using for this video, and we're going to be using as you can see over, oh, that's nice. Now if you come down there, you can actually click, when we get near the bottom, see the example here. So this shows you the example. You put in your API, this thing you use for as search, and we can choose a type. So the type, for example, it's anime. You can also choose manga and stuff like that. And then you pass through a query string, and you can also paginate it by choosing pages. So you can say page 1, page 2, whatever like that. But for now, let's just get started and let's start building our Vue.js application. So over here, we've got a terminal window open. I'm going to run Vue create Vue anime YouTube or YT. I'm just going to hit enter, and it's going to ask me to pick some stuff. Now I'm just going to manually select feature. I'm going to choose CSS processor, and that's it for this. I'm going to hit, we can also choose progressive web app 2 if you want to make a web app version, but for now I'm not going to. Let's hit enter. I'm going to choose version 3. I'm going to choose SAS, and let's just enter through the rest of these, and now this starts installing, and I'll see you once that is done. Okay guys, that's now finished. So what we need to do is do cd Vue anime YouTube, hit enter, and now in here we can run npm run serve, and it's going to start our server, but I'm also going to run code dot, and then we're just going to do a concatenation here. Hit enter, and that's going to open up Visual Studio Code for me and also start the development server. So let's put that in the background up here. Let's get this, and let's just put this to the screen. Close this, and then we're going to open up our, we don't need any of this. We don't need the hello Vue component. We don't need the logo. We actually don't need the assets folder at all. If we go into main, that's looking all right. Let's go into our app. Let's remove the import, and let's remove the hello world components. Let's remove all the styling and also anything else. So both of these, and let's just create a header in here. So let's just say header. Hit save. There we go. Let's also create an app wrapper as well, because we haven't got one of those. Let's just do app. There we go. I'm also going to just quickly convert my indentations to tabs, and then I'm going to use 4. The reason being is because it spreads out a little bit easier and it's a bit easier to read. Okay, so we've got our little app here. Let's refresh over here. There you go, we've got nothing. So let's just say header. Save. There you go, we've got our simple header. So let's just add some base stylings really quickly. We're just going to say margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box, and finally we're just going to have a font family of Fire Sans, my current personal favourite font, and we're going to use sans serif. Hit save, and there you go, that's looking a lot better already. So in our header, we're just going to create a h1. In this h1, we're going to say I'm going to pass a strong tag. I'm going to say anime. And I did originally say app, but this time I'm going to say database, just because I think it will look cooler. The anime database, cool. And then underneath here, we will have a form. But let's style this header just to look a bit nicer quickly. So underneath our asterisk here, we're just going to say anchor tags. We're going to set the text decoration to none, just so we have that overall as well. Now, let's say header, we're going to get padding top of 50 pixels. We're going to say padding bottom of 50 pixels. Let's scroll up a little here. There you go. We'll do our H1 and we're going to set the color to be 888. But we're also going to say our font size, no, not you. There we go. Of 42 pixels. We're then going to say the font weight needs to be 400. Our text align center. We're then also going to say text transform uppercase. Hit save. There you go. So that's already looking a lot better. We're now going to say strong, and we're just going to say color 313131 to give it that darker feel. So that's a bit what's highlighted. Also, I wasn't going to do this, but on hover, we're just going to say color is equal to 313131 all over. No idea why. I just thought it would look cool. There you go, look at that, kind of like a little flashy thing. Sorry, I don't know why I did that, that's just completely wrong. Anyway, let's scroll back up here and let's start adding in our form. So for our form, what we want to do is actually create just a standard form, and I'm going to have the class of search-box. Hit enter. I'm going to remove the action because we're going to be using a submit method, and then we're going to just pass through an input of type search. And then we don't need a name, we don't need an ID. We do need, however, a class of search, not a capital S, of search field, and we can also pass through a placeholder which will be equal to search for an anime, and let's break these onto their own lines. If I do this, it will make it look a little bit more neater. There you go. So we have these now broken down. As you see, we've got a little search box here. So let's just go and style this. We're going to style it piece by piece, just because I think it will make it a little bit easier. So we're not doing it all at once and we're not splitting it between each other. Also, just in the H1, I'm just going to say margin, margin bottom 30 pixels. I didn't add that already, cool. Now, below here, let's just say search-box. We're going to display this as flex just to quickly center it, just to make a quick center. There we go. Let's just do padding left of 30 pixels. Padding left of 30 pixels. A padding right of 30 pixels. Bam. I said bam. Did I name it right? Search box. Yeah, that's right? And it's inside the... Oh, guys, I apologize. It needs to be inside the header. I feel like that's where your search would go, inside your header, and if you're on different pages, you can, search. There we go. Looks a bit better. Now let's go .search -field, and then in here, we're just going to set some defaults. So we're just going to say appearance none, background of none, border of none, an outline of none, just to reset it all. We're then going to say background color. And we're going to set this to F3, 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 a really subtle grey. We're then going to say box shadow. Now we're going to have a really subtle box shadow again. We're going to say 4 pixels, 8 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.15. Hit save, and there we go. Let's give this a display of block. And then let's add a width of 100%, but let's cap the width at 600 pixels. Oh, let's see if we can get that done. There we go, and max width for 600. So we're going to give it a padding of 15 pixels, hit save, and there you go. It's already looking better, but I think it will look even better with a border radius of 8 pixels to round out those edges a little. There we go, they're looking a lot nicer. But let's give it let's give it some color to the text. So we'll say 313131. We're then going to say the font size is 20 pixels, and we're going to transition at 0.4 seconds. We're then going to get the placeholder, and we're just going to set the color for the placeholder text because it's a little bit too dark. Hit save, there you go, that's a lot better. Now under here, we're just finally going to update the hover effect, and we're going to say color, FFF, background color, we're going to set to 313131, and we're going to give the box shadow, we're going to basically take the box shadow away by just setting it 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 0 pixels, RGBA. It could be the same, hit save, and now when we hover, oh, did I say hover? I meant focus, sorry. So when we focus on this field, it goes out, and otherwise not. We can also add in here and valid, hit save. So if we type something in here, it's now valid. If we remove something, it's still valid. The reason being is because we need to add required to it to make it so it's not valid when it's empty. So now we can say in here, Naruto. And if we click out, you'll see it will stay as Naruto. And when we remove the value, it's not. That's really cool what valid does. It basically allows you to validate, check if it's valid. If it's not valid, then you can do some different styling in there. So that's the form styled up, or the search box, and the anime database also done the title. So let's add in the next bit, which is going to be a main. And then in the main, we're just going to have a cards. Now, this is where we're going to add in our cards, but we're going to create a component for this. So let's go into components, right click new file, say cards.vue, and let's just go into app and import this quickly. So as we're using Vue 3, we're just going to say import card from, and we'll just say /component/card, and we'll use the setup method here to let's just minimize this sidebar, sorry, and we're going to use seb to return card, and we'll just display one card for now. Hit save. Obviously there's nothing in the card. We'll do a HTML template, and in here we'll just do a .card, and we'll just say card. Hit save, and there you go, you can see the card there. Let's quickly go and style up this main and .cards. Oh, where is it? This main and .cards here, just so it's all styled up and ready. Let's scroll down to the bottom of this one. Let's call a main. We're going to say max width is going to be 1200 pixels. Margin is 0 auto. We'll have a padding left of 30 pixels. Excuse me, 30 pixels. Padding right of 30 pixels. There we go. Now with our cards, we want this to be display flex. You want to have a flex wrap of wrap, and let's just say a margin of 0 and -8 pixels. Now the reason I'm doing the -8 pixels is because we're going to add padding to give them spacing between, but I want it to be touching the edges still, so I'm adding the -8 to offset the left and right side of our card. You'll understand in a minute when we actually get to it. So let's that's all that styled. So let's go into our card and let's start styling up our card. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in here an anchor tag. We'll just do a hashtag for now because well, we don't actually need to go anywhere yet, and we'll set our target to _blank so it opens up in a new page. We're then going to pass through an image, and for now we're just going to use well, let's just do image, and for now we're just going to use a placeholder. So we're going to say https placehold.it /300 300 by 600, and in here let's just say anime poster image, and there you go, there's that. That's a bit too big. Let's do 150 by 600, or by 300, sorry, maybe even by 200, too boxy, 250. There you go, that's right, that's hit the nail on the head. Cool. And then under here we're going to have a H3, and this is where our title is going to be. So we're just going to say a title. Let's just say Naruto because it's the one that comes straight to mind. Cool. So we've got this. Let's actually add in some styles. So let's just go SAS scoped. Scoped is fine. Actually, scoped is preferable. And let's just say display block. I mean, the card's a red block. We don't need that. Sorry, pointless. But we are going to say width 33%. We're then going to say max width of 33%. And we can also, if we really want to go overkill, we say flex 33%. No idea why, just, add all of them in there, just so you cover all bases. Padding 0 pixels, and then we're going to do the same amount we minus, so we're going to say 8 pixels. And as you can see, it's now moved it over, so now it's going to be in line with everything else. Well, not this because we capped it at 600, but if we get that in line, there you go, it's now in line. Let's add a margin bottom to each one of 16 pixels. Double the left and right, because that means it will even out at the bottom. Now in here we want our image, we actually want it to be width of 100% inside of our box. There you go. And we want a max height, so we're going to set a height of 300 pixels. Now we want to object fit cover this like we do with a background cover, just so if there's any images that are out of size, they will all then match this size, and they'll never be stretched, they'll just be fitted in perfectly. It can cause some issues, but I think it looks alright most of the time. So let's hit a border radius of 16 pixels, just so we get those curved edges. Everyone's got to love those curved edges. Let's add a box shadow, and we're just going to say 0, 4, 8, and an RGBA of 0, 0, 0, 0, 1.5, hit save, just to add that light element of it floating off the page. We're also going to add a transition to this, because we're going to be having a hover effect of 0.4 seconds. We're then going to style the H3, we're going to set it to a display block, and padding of 16 pixels. Again, I don't know why I waste my time with display block, it's not necessary. And also let's just add a colour of 313131, just to get it back to a dark colour, or we can go something lighter actually. Let's go 666. I don't know, maybe too much grey. Yeah, go back to 313131. I think that's nice. And then let's add our hover colour. So let's go hover, and when we hover, we're going to say the image, we're going to say the transform is equal to a scale of 1.05. So now when we hover, you can see it grows just a little bit. Now I actually am going to add a H3 hover effect in here as well. We're going to set the colour to, let's say, something more vivid. So let's just say maybe a green. So if we say 24 E4 84, no, that's too green. Let's try something a little darker. Let's go C4 44. There you go, that's a lot better. So now when you hover it, it changes. Let's add a transition to that as well. Transition, and we'll just say 0.4 seconds. There we go, look at that, a nice little transition between the two. There we go, so that's all the styling we need for the card. Now we need to add in the functionality to actually get the animes when we search. So let's go back to app. Let's scroll up into our script here, and let's import ref from Vue.js, because we're using the composition API. Oh, and I'm pressing the wrong keys. Yeah, I know there's going to be an error. We'll fix you in a minute. Don't worry about it. We're going to create a constant called search query, and we're going to set this to ref of an empty string, and then we're going to pass search query here. Now, what we're going to do with search query is we're going to bind this to our input, call it theme model, and set it equal to the search query we just created. So anything we type, I just want to swap that, I'll leave it. So anything we type into here is now going to be setting this value here. But that is not all. Oh, hello, we don't want to save you, excuse me, go away. That's not all. We're going to need to create an anime list. So we're going to say anime list is equal to ref of an empty array. And that's going to throw an error. Let's just pass it here so it goes through. There you go. And the final thing we're going to need is we're going to actually have to handle our search. Let's just say handle search is equal to an asynchronous function, because we're going to want to grab a promise, and then we're going to say anime list dot value. That's not dot value. Dot value is equal to await fetch. We're going to use a fetch request. Now here we're going to use backticks, not normal ticks or double ticks or anything like that, backticks. And we're going to pass through. I'm just going to copy the URL we're going to need. There you go. We're passing through our fetch here. I know it's broken down into 2 lines, but it's basically right here. You can get this API from the Jikan's documentation here. Over on the right here, if you scroll down, you find this little button and click it when you're in the search parameter. It gives you it all here. You don't need an API key or anything, which is really odd because it means anyone can just make a million requests, but that's fine. And then we're just going to say .then, and we're going to get the response from the server, and we're just going to convert that into JSON, which is also then going to pass a promise. So we then need to say then, and we need to say data is equal to data.results. And finally, we're just going to log anime list.value. Hit save. Handle search assigned. Yep, we just need to pass this down here. Cool. So if we go back up here, we need to add in our listener for this search box. So what we're going to do is say at, which is how we do on, and we're going to say submit dot prevent to prevent the default. So when we hit enter, it doesn't refresh the page. And then we're just going to say handle search, just like that. And now in here, let's just start to search something. Let's open up the console as well. Console, please. And let's just search for something. Let's say Naruto. Hit enter. And we get undefined. 404 not found. Oh, sorry. I completely forgot to pass through our search query. So now what we need to do is do a $sign and 2 curly parentheses. I don't know what they're called. Squiggly parentheses. Those ones, block elements, and we're going to pass through the search query dot value. Now let's refresh this and try again. Let's search for Naruto, and there you go. We get a list of all the Naruto here. You can see we get a lot of different things in here as well. So let's just drop this down. We get how many episodes it has, is it still airing, which is false, the end date, image URL, how many members are on it on the actual website, the ID, the score, and a lot of other things. So you can do a lot of extra things with this. For now, we're just going to need title, URL, and image URL. So let's close this, and let's actually loop through these cards now. So we're going to say fee-4 is equal to anime in anime list, and then we're going to bind this by a key, and the key is going to be anime.mal_id. So let's save that. And there you go. We get all of those listings right there. But now we need to actually pass through a prop. So we're going to pass through a prop called anime. So we're just going to say anime is equal to anime and hit save. And now to finish this off, we need to go back into our card. We need to create a new JavaScript script. We need to pass through props, and we need to pass through the name of anime. Now in here we can do stuff such as anime.title, and hopefully if this works, there you go. So we've got Naruto Shippuden, all the other ones which are all appearing here now. So let's get the image too. So let's just bind the source. So in here we're going to do a colon, and then we're going to say anime.image_URL. Oh, sorry, you don't need the curly brackets when you're inside of a attribute. Hit save, and there you go. We could make this alt a bit better by making it more friendly. So let's just do this, and we're going to say anime poster, or no, we'll just say anime. It'll probably be easier to do quotes. We'll say anime.title plus, and then we can say space poster. There you go. Just to make it a bit more accessible for those who need to use a screen reader. It's always best practice to add a good alt tag. We also need to add in our href. So let's go up here and we'll just go, again, we'll bind this to anime.url. Hit save. And now if we click on one of these, it should open us up in a new tag on myanimelist.net. And here you are with a bunch of all the information here. We can also close this and search for other things. Let's search for Dragon Ball. Hit enter, and there you go, we've got this. Now some of you may not want this to remain. For this tutorial I'm going to keep it in, but if you do want to remove this after you've hit search, all you have to do is in handle search, let's remove that console log, we no longer need it. We're just going to say search query dot value is equal to nothing. Hit save. Let's search for Naruto, hit enter, and as you can see it removes it completely after we've hit search. So there you go. Also, when you first start, there's nothing here, so you could do a fee if statement here. On here, just say fee if anime list dot length is less than 0. Then we can just do a no results tag here. We could say fee else, and we could just put something in here. We'll just put a H through. It says sorry, we have no results. Obviously you can style this up, you can do some other things here if you wanted to. You could even have like the featured anime here, and then once there is a search result, such as let's go for something like one of my favorites at the minute. What is it? Demon Slayer. Hit enter, and there you go, we get Demon Slayer. And there you go guys, so that is how we create a simple anime database application in Vue.js. Now I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, it really helps the channel out and helps me grow. Smash that subscribe button if you're new around here to see more videos like this. Don't forget, if you have any questions, you're always welcome to leave them in the description below. But anyway guys, thank you for watching this video, and peace out.